told you that I'm Paul Dale Roberts. I'm a paranormal investigator. I've been on something like 1,000 investigations. I write books. My wife, she also too writes books. She has like 30 books out there. And every paranormal investigation that I do, I write an article about it. And I place it into and so I sell books. I've been on like 17 documentaries. We just got done doing the Travel Channel, Mysteries of National Parks, over in Colorado, San Diego National Park. So we get a lot of media attention, and it's because my wife is a journalist, and so am I. And so I've been on something like 1,000 investigations, so a lot of gray area. When I started off as a paranormal investigator, I wasn't believing in the paranormal. And the reason why I wasn't believing it is because I wasn't seeing it. And I was interested in paranormal as a child because I thought I had paranormal experiences. But as I got older, I started thinking, well, maybe I was having nightmares. Maybe those weren't real. So I was always curious about paranormal, read books on paranormal, and then somehow found myself as a paranormal investigator. And as I was going through all these investigations and the EVPs that I was hearing and everything else, I still wasn't a believer. And then one day, we went to an investigation at Citrus Heights. And this investigation made me a believer. I had 15 scouts, and I had 5 in one room, 5 in another room, 5 in another room. And 10 of them were falling asleep because nothing was happening. But there's one particular room, I walked in, and you can hear a little girl giggling. And I walked in, I go, wow, can you hear that? The little girl is giggling. They go, yeah, we're recording it. And I heard the girl giggle again. I said, she's 3 feet in front of me, sitting on the corner of this bed, but I can't see her, but I can hear her. And she giggles again. And I put my head down, and I go, hello. And she goes, hello. I go, holy crap. And right now I'm feeling goosebumps right now because it was so amazing to hear a voice, a disembodied voice, talking to me so close. And at that point in time I said, I'm going to get all 15 people in here, we're going to conduct a seance. So we conducted a seance, and the room sounded like it was ripped apart. It sounded like something out of Hellraiser, where the Cenobites were coming through the walls. It sounded like it was ripping apart. There was a series of knocks on the walls, and all 15 people were running out the door. And scouts are ghost hunters in training. So they're all learning how to be a ghost hunter. But it scared them so much that they were running out the door. So we had to reconvene, and I said, look, this is a breakthrough. We've got to go back. So we went back. We're all sitting around. We had 3 walkie-talkies sitting on the floor, and they're all on the same channel. And one of the walkie-talkies goes on and said, there's a man's voice, and he goes, get out. And they're all running out the door again. And the occupant looks at me and she goes, Paul, she goes, I have to live here. Maybe we should stop. I go, I respect that, you stop. She goes, you're welcome to stay in this room though, all night. I go, okay. So I had the video camera running, and I'm sleeping. My job's pretty tired, I fell asleep. But as they played the video back, you can hear a woman's voice say, Paul, Paul, Paul. And there was a little child at the foot of the bed moaning. There was a guy whispering. There was a little tap on the headboard. And I slept through the whole thing. And at that point in time, it made me a believer. Now, as a paranormal investigator, when I investigate, one of the best tools to have is a recorder. And I'm going to explain to you with these dowsing rods. Now, if these dowsing rods point at a ghost, that's not evidence. Okay? And what we do is, okay, we'll say something, are you here? It'll go like this, that means yes. Do you want to talk to me? If it does that, that means no. I'll ask something else. Do you like Disneyland or something like that? It'll go like this. Doesn't know what I'm talking about. So that shows confusion. Where are you located at? And the dowsing rods will start pointing. Boom. And then cross over. And at that point in time, what you do as an investigator is try to get an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, or take a picture, and maybe you might get an orb or something like that on the chair. So what we do is a quick and dirty. And a quick and dirty, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'll say something, is there anybody here? I pause, give it time to talk. And this is what we're going to do in the seance. And this place is very haunted, so I don't doubt that I'll get an EVP right in front of me. So I'll say, is there anybody here? I'll stop it. Well, I'll give it time to talk. Stop and play it back. And then you'll hear something. So I'll do that again. So is there anybody here? Pause, give it time to talk. So is there anybody here? Pause, give it time to talk. And there's people who don't want to talk about it. Anyway, you get the idea. That's a quick and dirty. So like one time I was sitting in the car and had the windows rolled up. And I said, and I did a quick and dirty. I said, is there anybody here? I stopped it. Well, I paused, gave time to talk, stopped it, played it back. And it goes, I'm right here. I go, whoa, it's right in the car. And this is at Folsom Cemetery, which is very, very haunted. And it didn't follow me home or anything like that. But it was right there in the car, in the cemetery. Okay, I'm the only eyewitness to it. You know, it's like believe me or don't believe me, I don't care. I know what happened. I was sitting in that car by myself, no voices, and here I'm going, is there anybody here that says, I'm right here? You know, it has to be the backseat of my car. So that just totally tripped me out. Now, orbs. Now, you guys hear a lot about the orbs, right? People take pictures of orbs. What are orbs? Anybody can tell me? No? Okay. Do you know? Okay. Orbs can be almost anything. It could be wind, it could be dust, it could be light refractions, it could be dewdrops. It could be almost anything. It could be bugs. Okay. So how do you prove that an orb is paranormal? How do you prove that an orb is actually a spiritual contained field? And what you do is, okay, we had a case where the entity was named Emily. And Emily was draining one of my investigators. He says, God, Emily's really draining me. I have to sit down and I have to rest because I'm just really freaked out. And I said, okay, rest. And I took a picture and I kept on seeing this one orb. I said, Emily, I said, if you're here, up here above John's head. So three of us are snapping photos of John. And there's this orb on top of his head. That showed intelligent movement. Something like that I could deem as a spiritual containment field. So I said, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay. And I said, Emily, if you're listening to me, kiss John. So three cameras, all three cameras captured an orb on his mouth. That showed a spiritual containment field. It showed that it was intelligent, that it was actually listening to me. So that's how we prove if an orb is actually paranormal. Because there's so many ghost hunting groups out there, and they'll take a picture of an orb. And I have a friend, I love him to death, but every single orb to him is a ghost. He goes, Paul, there's a ghost next to you. It's an orb. could be dust. It could be almost anything. And I'm not going to sit there and try to argue with them or explain anything to them. But everything is, you know, a lot of ghost hunting groups, they'll think that all orbs are ghosts, and they're not. You have to show, if you're a really good paranormal investigator, you've got to show that it's paranormal. And how can you do that if that orb is actually listening to you and doing what you're saying? So a lot of times I'll do something, I'll put my hand up against the wall, and I say, take a picture up here by my hand. And photos taken, and the orb is right next to my hand. Okay, listen to me. It's a spiritual containment field. This place is definitely haunted. Now we have a thing called designer orbs. And designer orbs are, you might see them on the internet, but it's an orb that has intricate type designs in it. Almost like a snowflake. Everyone's different. Sometimes they have a nucleus. And in this one case over Del Paso Heights, I took a picture and I got 2 designer orbs. And when I enhanced them, enlarged them, there was faces of what looked like dogs. So I went back to the occupant and I said, what is it you have in your backyard? And she goes, I have orange trees. I go, okay, cool, I see that. I said, what else do you have back here? She goes, oh, my 2 dogs are buried back here. I go, okay. Why don't you look at these photos? Not saying nothing to her. Look at these photos. And she looks at them and she starts crying. I go, why are you crying? She goes, Paul, those are my 2 dogs. And something like that, I can say is paranormal. She's actually validating that those designer orbs are photos of her dogs. So that's what the designer orbs are. And now we also too, it's very important if you are going to be a ghost hunter. Anybody here, well, I know you're interested in being a ghost hunter. Anybody here actually interested in being a ghost hunter? No, I don't blame you. Sometimes it's really boring. Because out of our investigations, it's something like you get 80%. It's nothing. It's just people, it could be a raccoon on the roof, it could be just almost anything. The creaks of an old house. Okay? And it's just like being a cop. You're pulling surveillance on somebody, and you're waiting for something to happen, and nothing happens. But there are certain places where you can walk in, and in 30 minutes, I got some kind of evidence. And I go, this place is fun. You know? And people are just excited, and they're ready to investigate. When I had a large team, a lot of my investigators would be very bored because nothing was happening. It was inconclusive. So, one thing that's very important if you're going to be a ghost hunter is, besides getting evidence and going to the doctor and says, yeah, you have ghosts. Okay, good luck, you know, with your ghosts and leave the house. And that's not what we do. Okay, I look at the occupant and I say, do you want to get rid of those ghosts? Yes. So what I do is, I do a Roman Catholic blessing in my house. And I use holy water. And I'm very successful. My wife, she's metaphysical. And she brought this. She sells them for $1 each. So if you want to cleanse your house, but it wards off evil. You have your smudging wands, candles, and various little items. I can sit here and try to explain it later. But anyway, with these items, it cleanses out the house, it wards off evil. If you have negative energy in that house, it takes it away. So if you guys have any kind of negative energy in your house, they're a bucket piece if you're interested. Yeah. So anyway, how many people have ever heard of living ghosts? Nobody? Okay. A living ghost, okay. An example is over in 1974 in Chicago, Illinois. This family moved into this home. And they moved into this home at about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. They would see an apparition of a man. And it would appear and would walk over to the couch, and it would be the apparition of a woman. And he was hitting her. Boom, boom, boom. And then they vanished. They saw this several times. And they went to a block party. And at the block party, the host of it was going, yeah, we do this every year, blah, blah, blah. Here's our photo albums. You can see our past events and everything else. So the lady's looking through the photo album, and she goes, oh my God. And the host goes, what's wrong? He goes, that woman, that man, those are the ghosts in my house. He goes, what? And he looks at it. He goes, yeah, they did live in your house. They had a lot of domestic disputes. The police were there all the time. The neighbors were complaining. They finally got a divorce. He moved 5 blocks down the road, and she moved out of state. But they're very much alive. He goes, I still talk to the woman. And she goes, but I see them every night at my house. And that is what happened is there's so much negative energy that had manifested into the atmosphere that was implanted in the atmosphere forever, recorded, and it replays over and over and over again. So you can actually be a living ghost somewhere. So let's say, and it could be almost anything. It could be positive energy, it could be negative energy, but you implant the atmosphere with that energy, and it would replace itself over and over again. So think of a time that you were really mad at someone, and you're yelling at them, there was a big argument. That particular spot where you had that argument can replay itself again on a quiet night, and someone can witness it and think they saw a ghost. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you can actually be a living ghost. And what's so funny is there's a place called Deal Mills back in the 70s. And that's when disco was really, really popular. And I used to hang out at Deal Mills. And when I walked in there, they said, around about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes you can hear disco music, you hear shuffling of feet, you hear people laughing. And it sounds like a big party going on. And that's on the 3rd floor. Well, that's where Deal Mills was. And so I could be a living ghost out there doing my John Travolta type thing going on, And they're hearing me shuffling my feet and dancing and laughing and everything else. So that's the story of a living ghost. So we get a lot of cases like that where there's, especially when there's negative energy, it seems like negative energy is much stronger than positive energy. So we'll go to a house and you can feel the thickness in the air. There's something going on with the couple. Maybe they're fighting all the time, they're fighting with their children or whatever. And they think their house is haunted, but it's so much negative energy and things are being replayed over and over and over again. And that's what's haunting the place. They're haunting the place. And that's why it's so important, especially in places like that, where you take smudging wands like this and you burn it and smudge the house, say some prayers, and get rid of that negative energy. So now if you have something demonic, that's when you call me, and that's why I have the demon warrior, because I do the Roman Catholic lesson. And so what I do is I use holy water and I start from the back to the front and get rid of any kind of demonic force. Now, demons, it could be almost anything. Usually it's a mental thing. But there was one demon case that I truly believe. And it was a case where an elderly woman in her 60s and her goddaughter, who was her 30s, very friendly people. And they gave me a call, and I happened to be in the area, and I said, yeah, I'll come over. They said, around about 3 o'clock in the morning, always 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. But 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a black mass that appears in the hallway, and it attacks us. And the elderly woman and this goddaughter they showed me bite marks that they had on their chest and on their legs. And I was thinking in my head, well, maybe they gave that to each other. And I had my laptop and I was interviewing them and I wanted to get their story out. And they're saying that they're being attacked by this demon. And I swear if there was a stack of Bibles, but the woman, who was very sweet, very kind, her face started distorting to something more evil, something more sinister. And it was actually scaring them. I'm looking at her and go, am I imagining that? Her face is actually distorting. And she told me at that point in time, she goes, Paul, she goes, I have visions and dreams. And I go, what kind of visions and dreams? She goes, I have visions of killing men. Mind you, I'm the only man in the room. And I go, killing men? And I'm typing away and I go, how are you killing men? And she goes, I'm taking a baseball bat and dashing the legs out. Okay. So anyway, continue on with the story. And then, about 15 minutes later, I look across the room, and the goddaughter is holding a baseball bat, and she's going around in circles like this, with this very sinister look on her face, and hysterically laughing. I go, okay, I need to get out of here. Okay, you got a great story. This is going to be on CNN News. I'm out. You know. And I was so scared I left my cell phone there. That's how scared I was. And I'm not scared of ghosts or anything, but I'm definitely scared of a 30-year-old woman with a baseball bat. That scared the crap out of me. So, do I think they were possessed? Because her face was actually distorting, I actually believe they were possessed by a demon. Okay. I believe something was going on. That was the only demon case that I actually believed was demonic. There was actually something there. I witnessed it. It scared the crap out of me. And a lot of times that you hear about various murders and stuff like that, it could have a demonic element to it. So there was a case back in the 70s on the East Coast where people at a random were committing murders. And they even actually made a movie about it. It was called, I can't remember what it was called. But it would be like a neighbor killed with another neighbor for no reason at all. And the police would ask them, why are you doing that? Why did you kill your neighbor? And they would say, because God told them to. And a lot of parapsychologists and paranormal investigators believe that some kind of demonic force went through the East Coast causing people to commit these type of murders. So yeah, there is an evil force out there, and I've actually helped people get through it. If a person has an attachment, a lot of people don't realize, but okay, if you have an attachment, the way to get rid of that attachment is a full submersion baptism. And the reason why is because, and I'm a Catholic, and they sprinkle water on me. Well, that's not the right way. In a basic form of exorcism is a full submersion baptism. It will actually cleanse you and get rid of that attachment. And so I've dealt with a lot of people where they had attachments and they had to baptize them. And as soon as I baptized them, the entity was gone. I blessed the house, and they said, Paul, you got rid of it. And they were in torment. Let me see if I covered all my notes here. There's something I'm not mentioning. I did mention to you that with all the investigations, about 80% are nothing, okay, and 20% is something. Out of 1,000 investigations, I've only seen 4 full body apparitions. Only 4. My team has taken pictures of 2 full body apparitions. So that's a rarity. So if you think you're going to see a full body apparition, I doubt it. It takes a lot of energy for the entity to be a full body apparition. And they'll more or less come to you as an orb. And then you got to prove that orb has intelligence. Anything you guys want to ask? Or?
Have you been able to capture any evidence on the video camera?
Oh, yeah. Like the one I was talking about where the orbs on the lips and stuff like that. You all have my business card. So if you go to my website, you'll see all 1,000 stories. And so if you want to see something in particular, just shoot me an email and I'll send you the direct link to it. It's so funny. It's because there's so many, like some of my older investigations and articles. Something happens with YouTube, and I'll go back to it. And where's that YouTube video? It's gone. So that's paranormal mysterious. It's like where it happened in my evidence. Like the evidence that we got here with the EVP where the entity actually said Victor, that YouTube doesn't even exist anymore. And so Mike was looking through the article, and that EVP is gone. So, I did an investigation in Aruba for Natalie Holloway's ghost, and people were saying they saw a blonde-haired woman walking on the beach. Well, she was that murder victim of Joanne. So anyway, I talked to a lot of people out there and stuff like that. So they took me to 3 locations where possibly she died at. And at the 3rd location, and I had 15 people with me at the time, but at one particular location, we got a woman who actually said, help me. So that EVP recording was blasted all over the internet, but now I can't see it. But yeah, you'll find evidence. A lot of the evidence that we collected is still on my website. So. Anything else? No? And I guess we're going to walk around, and Mike's going to show us around. So we're supposed to see the Indian burial grounds, the cemetery, some of the hot spots of this town, and the entrance to the tunnels. I don't know if we can get into the tunnels, but that'd be cool. And then tonight we'll do the same. See what we can get. So you plan to do any ghosting on the own? I know you are. Are you? Are you? Maybe. No. You don't have patience? Yeah, I know. It takes a lot of time between us. And then it's so funny because we'll do an investigation, we'll be out there till midnight or whatever, and then I get home, I'm going to look on the article and upload the pictures, upload the evidence, and everything else. And then I wind up going to bed at like 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 in the morning. So.
How frequently do you do these investigations?
Well, we get calls all the time. Some of them I listen to now. I listen to it and I go, okay, that sounds like yes. I feel like. But we're getting investigations almost like 1 or 2 every week. But we stay really, really busy. And how many people here get Reels TV? Reels TV? Okay, Reels TV, they have a show called Case Closed with AJ Benza. So you'll actually see me on that show because we're talking about the Poltergeist movie curse. So if you have on demand, you can actually watch that.